Hello, hello, hello. I am absolutely delighted here to be joined by Callum Lamb of Lamb& Co. How are you, Callum?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Excited to be here too.
Look at that. You didn't even break. You even fooled me with that honesty there. You're pleased to be here. That's great. Great to hear. We love that enthusiasm on a Friday. That's brilliant. Callum, really, really delighted. Obviously, fantastic. We've obviously awarded you the license for RAN, obviously down there in Clacton. We were just talking about before. Bit of a busy time down there for you guys. Can't move for cameras, can you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, lots going on down here.
There you are, central
Big spotlight on
epicenter
Clacton.
epicenter of the political world at the moment, and of course, you joining RAN. So we've got two big news stories there. Callum, I wanted to just introduce you to obviously not just to our other the fellow RAN members. We always like to kind of do an introduction if possible, but just to start off with, and also just to get a gauge as to what were the aspects of RAN that really appealed to you. The idea of getting involved with us. Obviously, I think Adam had spoken to you a couple of times about it.
Yeah.
Just give us an idea of what is it about RAN that's kind of encouraged you to get on board.
Yeah, so for us, obviously, as a independent agent working in kind of a small pocket of the country, I think it's just that power of collaboration, allowing us to be effectively joined up with a network across the country. We're quite a kind of popular area for people retiring, being coastal, coming down this way, so moving from out of area. And obviously generally we're not able to service clients kind of beyond our patch, and it just sort of gives us that leverage to be able to have some involvement there and steer them in the direction of the best agents as well.
Well, yeah, and I think that's a key point, isn't it? Because obviously that's the whole reason. Obviously, way before I got involved with my Peter Pan face, RAN's in its 30th year now, and it obviously one of the key reasons it was it was created was to give people that ability to pitch against the corporate agents. So we've always been very used to going out and saying, look, we've got hundreds of offices, so we can best serve your requirements. Well, I can tell you the only thing more powerful than that is where you've got hundreds of independent agents who we know that on the whole outperform their corporate peers in the realm. That's quite a powerful argument, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think but that's it. Obviously it's a different setup than a corporate agent where offices might actually be competing with one another, in
Definitely.
which case they might not be particularly supportive. But obviously, on top of that, the value of kind of the regional meetings, which I'm looking forward to. I think we've got one next month potentially, which I'm looking forward to be involved in. And sometimes as a kind of sole owner of a small business, I don't necessarily get to speak to other agents that and that are out there doing it as well. And I think just to sort of share ideas and best practice, and it's good to hear that everyone else is in the same boat when things are tough, etc. It's always nice because it can be a bit lonely.
That's a really good point. That is, it's quite difficult, isn't it? We think obviously, we think obviously how well connected we are, and by definition, agents are the most connected people. But actually, being well connected to other agents, it's not like you can go and have really honest conversations normally with your competitors or would ever want to. And so, look, I mean, obviously, I come at this from a couple of different angles, but from the kerfuffle point of view and suppliers. Who do you ask realistically in a relatively small industry like ours if you're thinking about going for a new CRM provider, a new website? Yes, there's a site you can do that on, but actually being able to go to those regionals and ask what's working for you, and just as importantly, which ones to avoid. That strikes me as being, in this digital age, actually having that community aspect is probably more important than ever, isn't it?
Exactly, and you're getting an honest, unbiased opinion. It's that you can speak to someone at that software company or whatever, and they're always going to tell you how good it is. But to have it from the horse's mouth, another agent that's doing it is working for, is a lot more reassuring, definitely.
Well, but believe it or not, I have heard on the grapevine that sometimes the reference list that these salespeople give you, they might not be the most trustworthy list. They might have bought the odd person a pint or anything else there in the past to do it. It's a fact of life, isn't it? To have that neutral kind of ability to bounce ideas off is great. The other thing is as well, though, isn't it? We're all in micro markets, and actually sometimes when we think we're doing well or are we doing badly, to be able to talk to other members and understand whether that's you're bucking the trend or other people are having those experiences. Nice thing.
Yeah, because generally you don't necessarily know what's happening elsewhere. It's very much kind of, blinkers on, focused on our particular patch. But it is always nice, like you say, just to be able to compare. Are people having the same challenges here? Are things taking as long? Is the sales process as long-winded
Yeah,
and
yeah.
drawn out there as it is for us? Are they having the same challenges? And also, are we seeing success here? Are they seeing the same? It's like it is. It's just nice, and then where your focus is on. And obviously, some of them agents are in areas where our buyers are coming from, so it's nice to know what's happening in them markets as well.
I think that's. I was at the regional for the Midlands region actually yesterday, and those challenges points. And although sometimes I obviously come at this from the tech issues, the two of the things that came up. Well, obviously, turning your pipeline around is a challenge for literally every agent in the country, but. Not just kind of being able to commiserate with other people, but actually what other people, practical methods that people are
Yeah,
doing to alleviate that was fantastic. The
exactly.
second thing was obviously getting away from tech was, well, recruitment. Obviously, how do you deal with obviously the rise in minimum
Yeah,
wage and everything else it's doing there? Some people were talking about they're using these VAs from in South Africa,
yeah.
some more of the admin and marketing based jobs there. All these different aspects just gives a
Yeah.
real level of sort of added benefit, isn't it? I mean, that's not the reason. That's not just the only reason to come on board, but certainly it seems like
No,
that.
it's
That's a benefit.
definitely an advantage, and like you say, it's just sharing ideas, and sometimes you come away from there a bit more refreshed, knowing everyone's in the same boat, or with some fresh ideas, saying, "Oh, that seems to be working well for them. But their business is comparable to ours in a different town. Well, let's look at
Yeah.
implementing the same thing."
Excellent. And look, it's early days, isn't it? I mean, I think our paths crossed. You said you were kind enough. Obviously, one of the things that we're looking to absolutely double down on that I don't think Ran has done so much of in the past is, if we were an estate agency just as a single brand, I think we'd be the sixth largest agent in the country. We're really trying to make sure that we get deals that actually from suppliers that reflect that. I know it's obviously going to be too early for you guys coming on board, but one of the things that we do, of course, is include the kerfuffle membership, and so that gives me the opportunity to talk about it. And I think you said actually a couple of years ago you had quite a useful session where you picked up with one of our kind of consultants, just talking about what you've got in your own tech stack, what might be out there helping with different areas. Did you find that useful back then?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and it's always just nice to an impartial sort of third party opinion on that stuff. Well, maybe you don't need that, and just look at some of those things, which we did have a little bit of a shake up on stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
prop tech's saturated now. There's so many tools, isn't there? And I am one of them. I'm quite, I see something shiny and I like it,
We
and I'm
all good salespeople are, aren't they? What was
um,
it? I want that one.
yeah, exactly. So it's very like it's nice sometimes just to be able to bounce that off of someone, and rather than them just take your money for something you're not going to need.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a tough one because
and
you can accumulate a lot of different
yeah,
tech, can't you? And actually, as we
absolutely.
always say, doesn't matter whether you do it through us or there. Just make sure you do have at least a couple of review points at the end of the day. We're not really using this enough
No,
because the problem with it, a lot of tech is actually quite cheap, but it's not cheap if it's not being used, is it?
no, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's saving your time, saving your money, it's worthwhile. If
Great.
it's not being
Yeah.
used, it's an
Great.
expense, isn't it? And I think, yeah, I mean, we use lots of things, and I'm younger than some business owners out there, so I'm quite, we're quite tech focused, and I can see where the world's going. And I think these things that save you time and money are absolutely worth having, but it is just getting that right mix. We review quite regularly, and yeah, great to be able to involve kerfuffle in that as well.
Great stuff. And look, one of the things that obviously is nice about this, and I suppose going back, what many of those those tech suppliers will say is, if you invest in us, you've got a real USP. The problem with most of those is actually, any competitor in your area can also buy those. So
Yeah,
ergo, it doesn't actually set you apart, does it? But
no,
can I just ask the question of us, obviously being awarded that brand license, obviously we did all the mystery shopping to ensure you're obviously the right agent, right, doing the right numbers, got the right customer satisfaction angle there, and that right personality I think is there. Do you think that that's important, that you're going to be able to use that as well out there in the wider marketplace, being able to say, look, you know, we've been chosen by RAM because of that quality. Will that help you, do you think, in
Course,
valuation?
yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a genuine USP, isn't it? Because we
Yeah,
will, you know, in our market, we will be the only member there, and I think, you know, we're going to push hard on that. This all sort of come about at a good time because we've recently kind of adjusted our model slightly, moved offices, and lots of changes going on. So it's a perfect time, like, to slip that in with everything else. And it's like, look, this is Lamb and Co 2.0. We've
yeah,
evolved a bit,
yeah.
and this is what you're getting now. And I think that's really key as well, and good timing. And it does kind of set us apart from, you know, the independents generally in our market. And I'm sure it's the same in lots of markets, you know, seem to have the largest market share there.
Yeah, yeah, it
Um,
is.
but the you know, the one advantage that the corporates have got, or that they'll say they've got, is that kind of larger network. Well, this then alleviates that. You're getting the best of both with a, you know, the scale of the network and the independent service, the you know, all the other bits that attract people to independence in the first place.
And if that potential vendor just remembers that as the difference, then that's puts you in with a fighting chance.
Yeah, exactly,
Great
exactly.
stuff. Well, look, I couldn't again. Thank you so much for obviously believing us, coming on board. Can't wait to catch up. I will catch up with you at that regional. I'm getting around all of those now. Obviously, I'll send you over your obviously the list of different supplier deals that you can get on the table, and you just let us know when we can certainly help out. But for now, Callum, thank you so much for coming on board.
No, thanks for your time. Thanks for having us, and yeah, look forward to it.
Excellent. Cheers, Callum.
Thanks, Simon.